Hey everybody, this is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Yo, host and welcome back to the baseball head. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So we're back here talking about the Mets. Expect things to pick up this week in Major League Baseball because it's really the first full week of business in the new year. I expect a lot of stuff to happen. Whether that's the Mets, well, we'll see. But a couple things. I want to acknowledge another member, a returning member. Roberto Dennis Jr. has returned to the HUD, become a member again. Again, we have memberships here. You'll get exclusive videos. I'm going to post a video on here in a little bit for members only. And I'll be doing that periodically. I got a picture on there from when I went to Philadelphia that people haven't seen. And I'll periodically write to members. I would mention the big goal of memberships, at least for me, is to get enough memberships so I can afford to get a new computer. I'm thinking about, I could probably use between 30 and 40 members to get a computer. I could pay for it every month. So I'm looking at an Apple computer and we'll see. But that's kind of the goal. What I'm asking you to do is become a member. So if you're a regular person that comes in here and a subscriber and is always leaving great comments, become a member. It's a great way to support the channel, and it grows the channel. So many people. I would mention the video I posted on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from Saturday night. My goodness, it just went crazy. I guess it's about 8,500 views. It's one of the highest viewed video I've had on here in quite a while. Probably about 2-3 years ago. Probably not since the days of Carlos Correa. Probably how long ago that was. But this video, it's a potpourri of things. Basically about the first base position and, of course, a possible reuniting of a Met. This is from Rising Apple. Now, I've talked about this situation that Pete Alonso is repeating bad Mets free agency history, and in particular, former teammate of his, Michael Conforto. Well, it's funny you should mention this. I've been talking about this for months. And somehow Rising Apple has an article about Michael Conforto. Let me read you this. Pete Alonso is repeating New York Mets free agency history in the worst imaginable way. Now, I've been talking about this since the summer. That Pete was basically repeating history. You fail to learn from history, you're destined to repeat it. A beloved homegrown player who rejects an extension from the Mets then has a hard time in free agency. We just saw this a few years ago, didn't we? But didn't I talk about it? Yes, I did. That's why you need to subscribe, because I'll be out front of everything long before everybody else is. I'm ahead of the curve. That's why you need to subscribe to this channel. And we have the most fun here and just and yuck it up. Pete Alonso's free agent journey is beginning to feel like a rerun. After a down year in 2021 for the New York Mets, Michael Conforto set off on his free agent journey only to see the impossible happen. He went unsigned. And entering the offseason was the eventual excuse made by his agent, Scott Boras. However, even before Conforto had gotten hurt, he wasn't getting much free agent attention. The Mets had moved on by signing Marcana and Starlin Marte prior to the lockout. Conforto was left with no choice but to sit out a year and receive a deal from the Giants the following offseason. Conforto made $18 million each of the last 2 years with a player option allowing him to stay in San Francisco for another season in 2024. A $17 million contract from the Los Angeles Dodgers now has him $52 million over the last 3 years. One can wonder what would he have made by now if he had accepted his rejected extension offer from the Mets. Pete Alonso I would mention, the Mets had offered him reportedly a 5-year, $100 million contract. So that contract decision prior to the 2021 season has cost him $7 million. And he's been basically in nowhere to be found. And he missed a season. So actually, he's lost more than that. He lost $20 million. Another, let's say 3. Excuse me. Let me get this right. 24, $26 million. He'll be in the 4th year of the Mets contract with him. He's lost $26 million. Or $27 million. It doesn't matter. It's a lot of money. $20+ million because of that stupid decision by not taking that contract offer from the Mets. It was a fair deal. And that would have really changed the Mets' whole offseason, that following offseason. It's like the article says, they signed Mark Cannon, they signed Starlin Marte. And he would have been part of this core still with the Mets. And we might not, I don't know where we'd be right now, to be honest with you. Pete Alonso rejected an extension offer from the Mets. Its history repeated itself. That's exactly what he did. Conforto reportedly turned down an offer in the $100 million range prior to the 2021 season, with the team willing to go as high as $120 million. So it was over $40 million. Years of the offer are unknown. 5 or maybe 6 at the most seems like a reasonable guess. If so, it's not quite at the level of where Alonso's heading in his free agency drop off. Conforto has still got an AAV around what the Mets probably had offered. Anything between $20 and $25 million seems reasonable. Rejection likely came down from the lack of guaranteed years, which he's still working to fill on a yearly basis. It's just stupid. The Mets liked Michael. I mean, Conforto's up and down as a player. You know, he can be very inconsistent, but the Mets liked him. The organization loved him, and he just screwed up this so badly. And Pete's in the middle of that too. Mets offered him a 7-year deal of $157 million, or whatever it was last year. You know, and he turned it down. Then they supposedly offered him another contract this offseason, and he poo-pooed that too. Now he's down to 30 million. Was it 3 years for $90 million? Just complete total stupidity. That's what that is. Now there is another rumor, and this is from SI.com. I'm not too. Well, you can let me know. I think it doesn't make any sense really. But this is from again SI.com. Should the Mets trade for this underrated first baseman? Let's can find a fantastic stopgap first baseman in the trade market. I don't know about that. One of the things people have been complaining about is Pete's age, but this player is older. Mets are still looking for solutions to the Pete Alonso conundrum. Although the 30-year-old Alonso has become one of the most beloved sluggers in team history, the Mets are hesitant to bring him back due to his contract demands. First baseman is looking for a long-term deal, while the Mets have reportedly only offered him a 3-year deal. While many insiders are optimistic about a reunion, it's clear that there is a gap in negotiations as of now. Perhaps the Mets are looking for a stopgap first baseman. This highly talented international slugger, Munetaka Murakami, keep an eye on him, because he's a big second baseman in Japan. He broke the all-time record for most home runs in a season in Japan about 2 years ago. So he's a big slugger. You got to keep an eye on him. Every team is going to be on him when he gets posted in another year or so. The Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets will be in on him. No doubt. All the teams. He's a big player. And Toronto Blue Jays superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. may both be available during the 25-26 offseason. The problem is there aren't many first base options left outside of a long-term reunion with Alonso. A stopgap options such as Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Naylor, Paul Goldschmidt, and Carlos Santana all found a new home already via trade or sign. Now, the only player that I heard was that the Mets were talking to was Santana. Alternatively, the Mets can instead move Mark Viennes to first base as an Alonso replacement. But then they would need to get a third baseman, such as Alex Bregman, who seems more likely to have other suitors. Though New York shouldn't be counted out. We'll see where that goes. However, the Mets can look at the Tampa Bay Rays and get the perfect stopgap. First baseman Yandy Diaz. I don't know about that. Be very leery of Rays. And they ain't even in Tampa Bay. They ain't another homeless team. Diaz, who's 33, has been one of baseball's most underrated hitters since coming to Tampa Bay in 2019. Over the past 6 seasons, he's hit .289 with a .374 on-base percentage, .440 slugging percentage, with 142 doubles, 74 home runs, 313 RBIs. Last year, he hit .281 with 14 home runs. He won the American League batting title in .330 2023. I'd stay away from him. This is not, in my opinion, inspiring. I'd rather not do that. That's my opinion. Now, finally, let's talk about relief pitching. The rumor kind of been around, I've heard, is the Mets are talking to teams for relief help, so maybe they'll start moving some of these prospects that don't have really a home here. Maybe Brett Beatty goes into a trade for a reliever. But there are plenty of relievers on the market that could help the Mets. And one of them is the guy that pitched here for the Mets. I would be very excited if he came back. He wouldn't cost them a lot, and you could put him in the 7th inning and 8th inning. He's not going to be afraid of New York. That's David Robertson. Again from SI. Could Mets reunite with a appealing reliever this offseason? New York Mets could reunite with a reliever who saw much success in Queens during his first run there, or run here. The Mets made the biggest splash. Okay, we know about that. While the Mets roster is already looking good heading into the 2025 campaign, the bullpen remains a glaring deficiency. Mike Puma of the New York Post addressed this in a January 1st article by writing, the bullpen hasn't been touched beyond the collection of largely unproven arms who've been signed or claimed off waivers. Known quantities include Edwin Diaz, Reed Garrett, Sean Reed Foley, and Jose Butto, if he doesn't return to starting. The Daniel Nunez also pitched at a high level before a late-season elbow injury sidelined him. Lefty Danny Young was successful for a stretch, but faded late in the season. Raskabar Brazaban is another wild card. In short, there is room for additional talent and additional, just improvement. Later on in the article, Puma listed former Mets closer and current free agent David Robertson as an option to help fill New York's relief void. I would not have a problem with that. Quote, the ageless wonder rebounded last season following an ugly 2-month stint with the Marlins in 23 after the Mets traded him. He pitched terrible. Pitched terrible for the Marlins. Yeah, a couple other names mentioned in this article from Puma was Chris Martin and Tommy Kahnle. So those are a couple of guys that could really help the Mets. Mets need a little bit of help in that bullpen, obviously, and they could use a lot more help with the pitching overall. But I've been very happy with this offseason. Obviously, the Mets got the big fish, and that kind of sets everything up. We're just sort of waiting on Alonso and Bregman, and we'll see where those guys go. Hopefully, the Mets re-sign Pete. I'd rather not go a year without a first baseman here. I don't want to really. That's my own opinion. But we'll see how that transpires. I think Pete will be back. He's got nowhere else to go. He needs to sort of swallow his pride and just say, look, take a 1 year, take a 3-year, 4-year deal. There's got to be a compromise here. I think both sides want to get it done. It's just a matter of sitting down and figuring it out. But you let me know what you think about that. And of course, please become a member. It's going to be a great way to support what I'm trying to do here, trying to grow the channel, get more people in here. One thing I've learned over the last couple of days is that video resolution is very important. It helps YouTube push out the videos. And obviously, people, I'm starting to notice that a lot of people watch their videos, or my videos on TV. So I want to have a lot, you get to really see all the ugliness. I know my wonderful face. And crystal clear HD. Oh, sorry to hear that. But hopefully you subscribe. And not only that, become a member. I want to get in as many members as we can get. Channel's doing great. We're going to keep it rolling. Hope we get to 6,000 subscribers fairly soon. And I want to thank you for coming by. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.